Okay, so now we go to the most important part is alveolus. So alveolus is the most important part that you need to know. So I think the structure of alveolus, everyone is familiar with it. You already see many times in your SPM. So actually alveolus, you will see that it is a large surface area that are about of 100 meters square at our lung. So it is located at very high surface area in our lung. So meaning that at here you see here the bronchial tree, every bunch of the bronchial tree will have many air sacs we call as alveolus. So it contain have many air sacs at there. So this alveolus is the key structure that play the role to gases exchange in human. So the high surface area or large surface area can enhance the efficiency of the gaseous exchange. So more gases will be exchanged at the lungs. So and then the cell of the alveolus is very thin. You will see the structure of the alveolus actually is the plasma membrane or the cell itself is very thin. So normally only one cell thick that of squamous epithelial cell. And then this can increase the rate of diffusion. Why it need to very thin cell? Because it need to increase the rate of diffusion. If the cell is very thick, then you imagine if the cell is very thick, then the gas want to penetrate the cell is very difficult, right? So yeah, you need to very thin cell. Okay, so the alveolus also consists of the fluid what called as the surfactant. So this surfactant is very important because it makes the alveolus become moisture. Our alveolus is not dry, it is a moisture structure. Why it want to moisture structure? Because it need to reduce the surface tension of the water. The surfactant is made up of protein and phospholipid, which coat the alveolus and reduce the surface tension of in the alveolus. Okay, and then each alveolus is covered by the dense network of blood capillary which carry oxygen away to keep partial pressure low. So actually, if you see this diagram, you see here the each alveolus is partly covered by the blood capillaries, arterioles and venous, right? If you see here, the red color one is arterioles and then the blue color one is venous. So why it need to very bad? It want to keep the partial pressure low. Because in alveolus is the part to give the gases exchange, right? And later we go to the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide, later you will know, is a part to ensure the part of the gases exchange. So you need to make sure that this part the of partial pressure of oxygen is low, so that they can exchange, they can make a gases exchange. Okay, so I think that's all for the human respiratory system. So got any question about or not about the human respiratory structure? No. Okay, next I will go to the hemoglobin structure. So this is also in our syllabus. I think hemoglobin structure, maybe you guys already got learn some in semester 1 because hemoglobin is one type of quaternary protein, right? Right. So as we know that hemoglobin is the tetramer protein, meaning that it contains 4 polypeptide chains. It contains 4 polypeptide chain, 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. Not A, not A and B, because in Canva I cannot use the Greek word, so I use A and B. But in examination, you need to write alpha and beta. Alpha and beta. 2 alpha change and 2 beta change. So it is one type of common example of quaternary structure of protein, and it is also conjugated protein, right? So I think this one all of you already know because you already learned in semester 1. So it is the main respiratory pigment for the human that can be found in the erythrocyte. So this hemoglobin structure is only found in the erythrocyte only, what we call as red blood cell. Only red blood cell can find hemoglobin. The other cell cannot find it. So red, so you need to know the location lah. Okay. Okay. And then we know that hemoglobin. Why it called as hemoglobin? Because of hem. This hem is called as hem group, right? We know that one hemoglo one 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 home one what hemoglobin hemoglobin contain 4 polypeptide chains, right? And then each polypeptide chains contain one hem group. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, one hem group at here. You see here the hitam-hitam ni we call as hem group lah. So HEME or HAEM both are acceptable. Why? HAEM is British, British style, and then HEME is American. So both are acceptable. Up to you want to use one. But normally in Malaysia we use HAEM lah, hemoglobin HA. Because Malaysia is follow British English. So okay. Okay, and then you see here each polypeptide chain will contain one hem group. So in one hemoglobin, we will have 4 hem groups. Okay, so this is the chemical structure of the one hem group. So this is the chemical structure of the hem group. So hem groups. So hem group is the key component that give our muscle and blood red color. Kenapa awak kami nampak masa kami dan juga darah kami adalah merah kerana ini hem group. This group play the responsibility to give the color of the blood and muscle become red. So each hem group is in the what we call as porphyrin ring that enclose ferrum atom. So if you know that each hem group is enclosed in the porphyrin, and then inside there at the center will have the ferrum atom at here, iron atom or ferrum atom iron atom at here. And then each hem group can associate with one oxygen through oxidation. So meaning that each hem group, one hem group can bind one oxygen molecule. So meaning that one hemoglobin will combine 4 oxygen molecules. Why? Because one hemoglobin contains 4 polypeptide chains. Each polypeptide chain contains one hem group. And then one hem group can bind 1 oxygen molecule. So in overall, one hemoglobin can bind 4 oxygen molecules. So this one is the theory you need to know. Okay. So this is a hemoglobin structure. So it's a very easy structure. Actually, you already learned in STPM also lah. Okay. Semester 1. Okay. Okay. So got any question or not? No. Okay. Everyone is very expert. No question. Fine. Okay. Now we go to the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in blood. So first we go to oxygen. So oxygen is very easy. Just refer this diagram. Oxygen is very easy only. Normally after when you breathe, you take oxygen and then your oxygen enter our lungs, meaning that at this time your partial pressure of oxygen at the our lungs is very high. And then your blood in the blood capillary, blood capillary that in the blood capillary, the partial oxygen is very low. Right. Partial pressure of oxygen in our lungs is high, and then in the blood capillary is low. So you know that diffusion, right? Diffusion theory that you learn in semester 1. You know that simple diffusion oxygen gas is pass through simple diffusion is down concentration gradient. So in high, this one is have the high oxygen concentration, then it will pass through diffuse from the alveolus into the blood capillary. So the oxygen will diffuse into the blood capillary, and then the oxygen will diffuse into the erythrocyte. red blood cell. It first diffuse from alveolus into the blood space, blood plasma, and then after that, the oxygen will diffuse into the red blood cell, erythrocyte. Okay, okay. When once it diffuse into the red blood cell, it will react with the hemoglobin. It will react with the hemoglobin. React with the hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. What in chemical formula we all as HbO2 lah. This one we call as oxyhemoglobin. Okay, once it form oxyhemoglobin, then this erythrocyte will be go to the other part of the body that require oxygen. So when it go to the body tissue, so any part of the body tissue lah, whatever any part, in hand lah, in heart, in intestine, or in brain, in eye, any part of the body tissue. Okay, once it go to the any part of our body tissue, we call as tissue capillary. So once it reach the tissue capillary, this erythrocyte that contain the oxyhemoglobin will be dissociated. The oxygen will be dissociated into hemoglobin and also oxygen, and then oxygen will diffuse back to the diffuse back into the blood plasma, and then will diffuse out from the capillary into the interstitial space at here. Will be go to the interstitial space, and then this oxygen molecule will be used by the cells. When the which cell that require oxygen, then the cell will use the oxygen at the space at here. So at here, at this time, at the tissue capillary, the partial pressure of oxygen now is very high. And then this part, the tissue part that contains cells, the partial oxygen is very low. So that's why that the oxygen gas will be diffused out from the erythrocyte into blood plasma, and then go to the interstitial fluid, and then the cell will take up the oxygen. So this process is diffusion process. So overall process of the transport of oxygen. Just the most important thing is that oxygen is react with the hemoglobin. It only will react with hemoglobin. The transport process is that the oxygen is transported by hemoglobin only. And then once it reach the cell tissue, and then it will dissociate from the hemoglobin, and then it will used by the cells. The oxygen will but some case there very little oxygen will dissolve in plasma, but we can ignore that. Normally almost all of the oxygen will be react with the hemoglobin and be transported by the hemoglobin. So I think that's all for transport of oxygen in blood. So this is more easy, very easy only, very easy only. So and then this is about the explanation lah. So you can read yourself. So I need to see, got any question? No question. You have any question, don't shy. Just ask any question you need to want to ask. Okay, so the about explanation so I think I don't need to repeat all. Or I already explain about it. Just that I think this one I don't explain lah. When the first oxygen bind to the hem group, so actually the oxygen bind to the hemoglobin is bind to the hem group inside the hemoglobin. And then the other chain will change their shape slightly to increase the affinity of oxygen. So meaning that you see here, more easy. So this is what we call a deoxyhemoglobin. Normal hemoglobin, this one is we call as oxyhemoglobin. Meaning that once there are the oxygen bind to any change of the polypeptide, any change inside the hemoglobin, the shape of the hemoglobin will change. And then this changing shape will can increase the affinity for oxygen, meaning that when there are other oxygen molecule want to bind the second chain of inside the hemoglobin, it will more easily. Just theory lah, just want to let you know lah, theory. And then I think that's all for this. You can read yourself lah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think oxygen is normally is like this. So any question?